Okay, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be talking about my handy arrow cutter that I've made. I'm just going to go through the steps and show you how I built it. I saw many different methods of how to build this thing, and I kind of came up with my own method, so here's my method. So, starting out, I had a piece of shiplap that I first of all kind of measured out, and then I took the second piece of shiplap, which I screwed square with the edge here of the other piece of shiplap, the big piece. And then I actually first of all had routed a groove down the middle. I have a table route which I took a pointed bit and I routed a groove in here just deep enough where an arrow can just sit in there comfortably, and that is perfectly square, perfectly straight. And as you see, you can roll it, which really helps when you go to cut, which I'll show you in a little bit. Back here I have a where the back end of my nock of my arrow butts up to, and that helps me measure and kind of hold in place my arrow. I keep it pushed up tight to that block and I can spin and cut. I also have marks marked out on my board so I can measure my cuts and stuff, which kind of makes it easier for when, instead of having to get out a tape measure or ruler. And then my cutter is a simple Dremel tool. That's all you have to have other than wood and screws. And zip ties, I guess, if you want zip ties. But I first of all placed it here, and then I zip tied it down, and then I screwed it to hold it in. I didn't screw through the Dremel tool, I just screwed beside it to kind of hold it, and that does not move. And then I also made it where the blade was square with the end, the little cutting wheel, and then I also have it where it's just overlapping that groove enough where it will cut through the carbon, and then you spin your arrow and it cuts a perfect hole. That is pretty much it. So it's very basic, very interesting design. The speed of it is a variable speed Dremel tool, so that makes it a little easier. You can adjust your speed up and down. Normally I kind of find a halfway point. So let's cut some arrows. I just got some brand new arrows in the mail today from the great site of Amazon, and so I will be cutting some arrows, and I'll just show you a little bit about cutting arrows. So we're also going to talk a little bit about fletching these and shooting these in another video. So for this video I'll just be cutting my arrows. So let's get into it. Just go. Alright, so now I'm going to cut my arrows here, and as you can see I have them butted up. I have them butted up to the, I'm cutting them about 29 3/4. If you look down here, I have way too much extra sticking out and I won't get a nice cut. So what I'm first of all going to do is just cut them down a little bit shorter so it's real easy to do the finishing cut. So I'm going to turn it on right here, and I can adjust my speed back here. And I think about right there is a pretty good speed. I'm going to cut them right here. I actually think I could speed it up just a little bit, and there goes the little tip. Alright, so I turn it off before I actually go to do my final cut. I lay it down and I squeeze it tightly with my hand into the trench. And so I'm going to turn it on. And now it's in there very well. Now just take your hand, hold it firmly with one hand, and spin it with the other hand. And you should have a perfectly square cut. So with these arrows, anyway, I guess if your cut is not perfectly square, which mine is pretty much dead on the money, it looks just by eye. With these arrows, anyway, you have a little sanding stone, which you kind of round out the tips anyway. So I'm not too worried. I mean, you definitely don't want a 45-degree angle. 45? Yeah, 45-degree angle. You definitely don't want that. You want it as flat as you can get it. But this is cutting them pretty much dead on the mark. Okay, so some of my arrows, if they don't quite turn out perfectly square, Easton sends with their arrows a little square or a little block that you can sand them out with. And that just kind of smooths up the edges and takes all the roughness off of them. And so that's what I'm just doing to kind of clean them up and make them look a little better. So that's just how I cut my arrows. It saves me a trip to a bow shop, and it also just is kind of fun, and it's fun to build these things. So if you're looking to build something, an arrow cutter, build one of these. And I will say that it does maybe save a little bit of money then in the end, because you can just buy bare shafted arrows, cut them yourself. And normally if you buy bare arrows in 12 packs, you save quite a bit of money. So that's what I did, and hopefully soon it pays off. And so I'll see you next time, and hopefully showing you my arrow cutter will make you want to build one, and it will help you out. So see you next time.